My dear students, students of class 12, I hope that all of you are very well by the grace of God and also your near and dear ones. Anyway, from the previous class, I started reading and analyzing your poem, sonnet number 18, Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day. In my previous class, I gave you an introduction regarding the origin of the sonnet form, the types of the sonnets, as well as the sonnet sequences. I told you a sonnet is a lyrical poem of 14 lines with a particular rhyming scheme as well as a particular stanza pattern. And I also told you that today the sonnets are of two types. One, the Petrarchan or Italian sonnets, and the other is Shakespearean sonnets, basing upon the stanza pattern. Italian sonnets or Petrarchan sonnets consists of two stanzas, one 8-line stanzas called octave, and the other is sestet, 6-line stanzas. And the Shakespearean sonnets follow 3 quatrain and a concluding couplet. 3 quatrain, that means 3 into 4 lines and a concluding couplet. A couplet is 2 rhyming lines. A, A, B, B, C, C, etc. Anyway, note the point that the poem in your syllabus, Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day, from sonnet number 18, and it is a sonnet sequence. I told you that a sonnet sequence is a series of sonnets, and therefore, and in that series of sonnets, a particular love-hate relationship, the development, the progress and regress of a love relationship is generally sketched or portrayed by the sonnetiers, and it is a sonnet sequence. And therefore, we can never single out a particular sonnet and can never make a perfect analysis of that sonnet, because any sonnet from that sonnet sequence is posited in a vast scale of that sonnet sequence, and there is a link in between and among or with them, and therefore we can never particularly analyze them perfectly. Today's class will be about the sonnet sequence and Shakespeare's contribution. Then we learned that sonnet sequence is a series of sonnets dealing with a particular relationship. That is the sonnet sequence. But Shakespeare's contribution to the sonnet sequence Shakespeare's contribution to the sonnet sequence is a bit different one, a little bit different one. Because in a sonnet sequence, we generally see the man-woman relationship. A man loves the woman, or a woman loves a man. But in Shakespeare's sonnet sequence, the category does not follow it, because there is 3 divisions in Shakespeare's sonnets. Sonnet number 1 to 26, 27 to 153 and 53 and 4. 1 to 26, these are about a particular man, that is Mr. W.H. Henry Rio Thesley. Mr. W.H., whose name is Henry Rio Thesley. That means Shakespeare or the sonneteer or the speaker expresses his love or his relationship and care about a man, that is a man-to-man relationship. A man expresses his love and care for another man, another beautiful young man, whom the sonneteer or the writer or the speaker called fair friend. It is a particularly different from the sonneteers. Anyway, now we can mark the great difference that Shakespeare's sonnet from 1 to 26 is dedicated and is written about a fair friend whose name is Henry Rio Thesley, Henry. Rio Thesley, Wriothesley. Henry Rio Thesley, the third Earl of Southampton. And these poems from 1 to 26 has a subdivision. From sonnet number 17, there is an advice to the fair friend to marry a young girl and to procreate children so that he can perpetuate his physical beauty. 15, 16, 17, especially 15, 16, 17. The poet advises, the speaker advises the fair friend to marry a young and beautiful lady, a cultured lady, so that he can perpetuate his beauty, his inner worth through his issues, through his own issues, and therefore he can never depend upon the second hand of the artists. But the main point is that this idea takes a complete turn from the sonnet number 18. Mark it very carefully. Up to sonnet number 17, the poet was very shaky. The poet called the artist's hand, the poet's hand is second hand one and is very shaky, very weak one to portray, to capture the beauty of the friend so strongly, and therefore he advises the fair friend to rely on the biological procreation. But from sonnet number 18, especially sonnet number 18, there is a complete departure from the previous idea. Complete departure means what he said previously is not followed or is not seen in the latter sonnets, and that is a vital point in the sonnet sequence. Sonnet number 18 captures the beauty of the fair friend as well as the poet's anxiety to make it perpetuate through the help of the poetry, through the help of the art, realm of art. The poet is always making plans. The poet is always making or devising ways, methods and plans how to make his fair friend's beauty perpetuate forever. And he ultimately discovers the best way to perpetuate the beauty and the quality of his fair friend, and that is by the help of the art, that is writing poetry. And now I will begin reading the text. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day?